Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Local veterans hold a ceremony to ensure the attack on Pearl Harbor is never forgotten. A World War II vet from Roscoe recalls the tragic event 81 years ago.
A state-line sheriff's department warns about phone scams. If someone calls you, there are ways to protect yourself.
And the city of Rockford gives a new solar farm the green light. The business behind the project says it will be a more eco-friendly version. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
Today marks the 81st anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor.
December 7th, 1941, Japan's surprise assault launched the U.S. into World War II. More than 2,400 people died. Here in the state line, veterans and others gathered in Roscoe to mark the anniversary. The Roscoe VFW Color Guard gathered at the Riverside boat launch. There was a short speech and prayer. Participants tossed a wreath into the Rock River. World War II Navy veteran John Roscoe was there. Roscoe enlisted in 1944. He says he, like many others, enlisted to put an end to the war.
I was like everybody else at that time, wanted to get in there and get it over with. So, Ed. So that's basically why I enlisted.
Roscoe's Pearl Harbor ceremony has been held for more than 30 years.
No one is hurt after fire in Loves Park this morning. Firefighters were called to Progressive Steel on Lawn Drive to south of River Lane around 9:30. When they arrived, flames and smoke could be seen coming from a chimney. The fire was quickly put out. No other damage was reported at the building. No word on how much damage the fire caused. The fire is still under investigation.
The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office has a warning about a phone scam making the rounds. Several reports have come in of someone trying to get money. The person on the other end will falsely claim there's a warrant against you and you need to pay up. That scammer will give you instructions to deposit money into a Bitcoin machine. Sheriff's investigators want you to know they will never call you to tell you that you have an outstanding warrant or ask you for money. If you get one of these calls, the Sheriff's Department advises you to dial the non-emergency number right away.
Governor Pritzker celebrates the state's first social equity licensee for dispensaries.
I am very pleased, though, to see that we are starting to see openings of cannabis dispensaries that are social equity applicant license holders, and that we're going to see an acceleration of that. You heard Aaron talk about it, and I've talked about it over the next number of months because we see the progress that these new entrepreneurs are making.
The governor was at Ivy Hall in Wicker Park this morning to mark the occasion. During the event, the governor noted all 192 of the state's social equity licenses have been conditionally approved. He expects many of the related businesses to open in the coming months.
The U.S. Supreme Court hears a case on whether state courts have jurisdiction on federal election rules written by state legislatures. The case stems from North Carolina. Its Supreme Court struck down congressional districts which the Republican-controlled state legislature drew. State court justices decided the map heavily favored the GOP. Republicans argue the U.S. Constitution gives state lawmakers control over the times, places, and manner of congressional elections, including redistricting. North Carolina is among 6 states where the courts recently ruled overly partisan redistricting violated state constitutions.
2 women are suing Apple over the company's AirTags. They say their previous romantic partners used the devices to track their location, which potentially put their safety at risk. One of the women says her ex-boyfriend placed an AirTag into the wheel well of a tire on her car and colored it with a Sharpie to disguise it. The other woman says her ex-husband, who'd been harassing her about where she was going, put an AirTag in her child's backpack. The devices are meant to help you find your belongings if you misplace them. But law enforcement say using them to track people isn't all that uncommon.
There could be a host of reasons that this thing is useful, but based on my background in law enforcement and what I do now, I can't help but think that most people are buying these thinking that they may have to track someone.
Earlier this year, Apple added more safeguards to the AirTag to try and cut down on unwanted tracking. Apple hasn't commented on the lawsuit. Amazon's apologizing for a technical glitch that left thousands of holiday shoppers in limbo this morning. Nearly 10,000 users reported issues on the site. The most common problem happened as customers were checking out. An error message popped up while trying to process their request. They were then directed to check their accounts to confirm their order had in fact been placed. The issue lasted for about 2 hours before Amazon fixed it.
The Rockford Pantry Coalition receives a major donation to feed the hungry. Rockford Area Crop Hunger Walk presented a check for $7,000 this morning. For the first time in 2 years, the walk was in person. It raised more than $28,000 to fight local and world hunger. 1/4 of the money returns to Rockford. Cash is distributed to the Pantry Coalition, made up of 16 area organizations, including the Rock River Valley Pantry. The Pantry Coalition's chair says he's happy the walk is back in person.
It really is nice to get back to actually walking, because people actually besides giving their money, they get to do something that makes them feel like that they're having an effect.
Rockford Area Crop Hunger has raised more than $240,000 for local hunger relief since 1986. Another solar farm is in the works for Rockford. Earlier this week, City Council members approved a special use permit to install one on the southeast side of the city.
Amory Wilder looked into the details of it today. And Amory, there are other solar farms in the area, but this one's different?
That's right, Eric and Mimi. This new solar farm will be for private use rather than for the community. However, one alderman tells me it has a unique landscaping component to it.
It's a first of a kind in Rockford in that it has the sort of dual purpose.
Rockford Alderman Mark Bonney is happy about the addition of a new solar farm in his district. He serves the 14th Ward, where Collins Aerospace is located. They're letting another company, Engie, use part of their property to install the eco-friendly solar farm.
They are contracting with a prairie restoration firm to have a native prairie be created in conjunction, not sort of just along the edges, but fully in conjunction with the entire solar panel operation, so that when they decommission it at the end of its life in 25 to 35 years, there's an established native prairie there.
Bonnie sees it as a great investment for the community and environment.
It's a variety of plants that are low grow so that they don't interfere with they don't shade the solar panels, but deep rooted so that they have the advantage of helping with water runoff.
And Bonnie says, more importantly, the pollinator habitat will attract endangered species of bees and butterflies. It's an aspect that Rockford hasn't seen with any other solar projects. He believes residents will be okay with the addition to an already industrial area.
The residential areas that would border it are across Alpine Road, and so that's a pretty. I mean, it's a very appropriate use for that section of town. I think people are, everyone's going to be excited to see that the prairie mature and with the solar farm, coexisting on the same piece of property.
The application states construction could begin by the end of this year. Eric, Mimi?
A local veteran is in need of some help. The man behind the LZ Peace Memorial, Nick Parnello, is having some medical issues.
Today, the community rallied to help Sergeant Nick with his expenses. Nikel Delgado was there. Nikel, organizers say when they found out what Nick was struggling with, they had to help.
That's right, Eric and Mimi. Many tell me Nick is a big part of helping the Rockford community honor those who answered the call and paid the ultimate sacrifice. For the last few weeks, local veterans have been collecting money for Sergeant Nick Parnello. Today, his friends gathered at Finnegan's RV Center in South Beloit to surprise Sergeant Nick with a check. Some gave $5 and others gave $1,000, all to help, telling me they're doing everything that they can to help out their friend and fellow vet.
Well, hopefully that what we're doing here today will give inspiration to other people in the community to help veterans in need. I don't believe there should be a veteran out there in need today. They serve their country, and we should respect them and honor them and do whatever we can to support them.
Coming up at 5 and 6, we'll hear from the president of Vets Roll on why this is so important. Eric, Mimi.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we had cloud cover out there throughout much of this afternoon. A little clearing took place late this afternoon and evening, and that has allowed some fog to again develop. But a beautiful moonrise here out to our east with our SkyTrack camera out of the Poplar Grove Airport. This brought to us by Poplar Grove Airport. Temperatures in the 30s here this evening. Visibility dropping just a bit in a couple of spots, down to 6 miles in Rockford, 5 in Rochelle, 7-mile visibility in DeKalb, Freeport, and 7-mile visibility right now in Monroe. As we go through this evening, we'll continue with some of that fog. I do not think it'll be quite as dense or as thick as what it was late last night and early this morning, but just be mindful of that early tomorrow. 37 our temperature in Rockford, Belvedere, 35 right now in Freeport, down to 36 our current number in Rochelle. As we go through this evening, we'll maintain a little bit of a breeze from the east. Notice that fog kind of fills in through the morning tomorrow. Temperatures will drop back through the 20s. They should rise back into the upper 30s, low 40s for tomorrow afternoon, and we may even get a little bit more sunshine once we get afternoon tomorrow, but our cloud cover comes back in late in the afternoon and evening as the rain showers continue to work up from south to north during that time. I think after about 4 or 5 o'clock we'll start to see some light rain showers begin to move in. So the first half of our Thursday looking to stay somewhat dry, and then a little more wet there as the latter half of Thursday night begins to come to play. Leading edge of some of those rain showers, you've got a little more of a mix or even some wet snow coming down late Thursday evening, overnight, and then into Friday. Watch what happens Friday morning as we start to cool things down. We may see a little more of a transition over to some wet snow. This is not going to be for everyone. Looking a little more across southern Wisconsin and far northern Illinois. So between about the Highway 72 and 20 corridor, I think the best chance for kind of some transition over to snow, a wet snow. South of that, you've got more rain showers that'll be with you through the night tomorrow and then into early Friday. That moves out. We dry things out by Friday afternoon. We keep with that cloud cover, though, going into Friday evening. So lighter rain showers after about 4 or 5 o'clock. Once we get closer to about 7, 8 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see some snow showers kind of mix in. For some, it will be a transition over to a wet snow. Some minor accumulations possible early Friday, but this would mostly be on grassy surfaces. Roads are likely to stay wet. So a little bit of an impact to the Friday morning commute, whether or not you see that mix or wet snow or even just some rain showers. And again, the further south you are of Rockford, you've got a better chance to pick up on more rain showers versus wintry weather. 28 degrees, that's where we'll head for the night tonight. That fog, we've got some of that. That is possible again tomorrow. 43 for tomorrow afternoon. Dry through about midday, and then a late afternoon shower. A little bit of a mix there developing once we get to sunset and thereafter. 39 on Friday. Winds will pick up a bit for Friday afternoon. Low 40s for the weekend. Rain, snow possible again on Saturday. Looking ahead into next week, Monday, I should say, may start off dry. We still look at those rain showers that could come in by Tuesday, Wednesday, and then temperatures, they do look to take a drop, guys, by the end of next week.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
There is no joy in Cubs Nation today. The worst possible scenario regarding free agent Wilson Contreras has happened. He is heading to St. Louis. Contreras has agreed to a 5-year deal worth $87.5 million. Cardinals had a huge hole at catcher with the retirement of Yadier Molina. Contreras spent the last 7 seasons with the Cubs. He had 117 home runs over that span. Last season, he went deep 22 times while posting a .243 batting average. He is a 3-time All-Star, and now the Cubs have a hole at catcher. On the bright side for the Cubs, they have a deal with free agent starting pitcher Jameson Taillon. He made 32 starts for the Yankees last season and had a very good year. He went 14-5. And 14 wins matched his career high that he first reached with the Pirates in 2018. Aaron Judge will continue to blast home runs in pinstripes. He's agreed to the biggest deal in MLB free agent history with the Yankees. He'll make an average of $40 million a year over the next 9 years. Judge hit 62 home runs last season, setting an American League record. Should be a fun one tonight at the BMO. The Ice Hogs will host the Milwaukee Admirals. The Admirals lead the AHL Central Division, but the Ice Hogs trail them by only 5 points. The Hogs and Admirals are two of the highest scoring teams in the NHL. Their previous 3 meetings in the AHL this season, they combined to score 28 goals. And here's what the Hogs have to say about the Milwaukee Bunch and the importance of this game.
Big, heavy team. You have prepared, they're structured, so we have to make sure that we're playing every shift like the game is on the line every shift here.
It's a good measuring stick. They play a very good, solid brand of hockey and in all assets, right? Like they have a really good PK. Their power play is pretty solid. They're big, they're strong, they're fast.
The Ice Hogs will have Lucas Reichel for this game. He was called up to the Blackhawks yesterday, but was sent back today. The Bulls will try to end a 3-game losing streak tonight. They will host the Wizards. The IHSA State Football Championship games are returning to where they all began, Illinois State University and Hancock Stadium. The IHSA has just announced it has approved ISU's bid to host the games for the next 5 years. The first state football championship games were played at ISU in 1974. They were held there through 1998. In recent years, the state championship games have alternated between Champaign's Memorial Stadium and NIU's Husky Stadium. It's Wednesday. That means lots of Nick 10 boys basketball action this evening. The big one has Auburn playing at Boylan. The other games will be Belvedere at Belvedere North, Jefferson at East, Hononegah at Freeport, and Guilford at Harlem.
The First Warrant Interactive Radar on MyStateline.com. We've got some rain and snow moving in tomorrow night into Friday.
Thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.